Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan battle video. In this video we're looking at World Shrouded in Evil Power Omega Shenron, a Inhuman Deeds Power Absorption or GT Bosses category lead of Ki +3, HP 200%, attack and defense of 170%, and additional HP attack and defense of 50% for characters who belong to Shadow Dragon Saga Worldwide Chaos and or Battle of Fate. So what's great about this leader skill before I kind of continue onwards, he can really lead a lot of extreme units. He leads all the Goku Blacks, the Goku Rosés, the Zamasus, the Cells, the Boos. He leads Freezes. He also leads even Broly's with Inhuman Deeds. So he leads a ton of units, and I think that's really something that is amazing. So he has an absolutely incredible extreme leader skill, and I just wanted to highlight that before I talk about the rest. Raises defense 1 turn on his 12 key, greatly lowers attack and defense, greatly raises defense for 4 turns, causes mega colossal damage to all enemies, disables enemies' action once within the turn. For his passive, he activates the entrance animation when all allies are extreme class characters. Extreme class allies, chance of performing a critical hit up 20% and randomly changes key spheres, attack or AGL to rainbow for 1 turn. He will launch an additional super attack in extreme class allies, get Ki +2 and attack of 70% for 4 turns. He has Ki +3, attack and defense of 300%, and receives an additional Ki +1 per key sphere obtained. Damage reduction rate of 50% up, and randomly changes key spheres, physical or into rainbow. With a rainbow key sphere obtained, he will give extreme class allies 70% defense for 2 turns, as well as an additional damage reduction of 10% for characters who belong to the GC Bosses category. This is important because it means if you run 2 Omega Shenrons, they will give each other 10% further defense damage reduction. So what that means is, basically this Shenron will run at 70% damage reduction the moment the second Shenron activates his full passive. So between the two of them, they will give each other 70% damage reduction because their passes will constantly run simultaneously, which is amazing. When attacking, 150% attack. When Ki is 18 or more, attack of 150% when attacking, and defense of 150% when receiving an attack. When attacking with 24 Ki, he has a guaranteed crit. And when receiving an unarmed super attack, he has a great chance of nullifying it and countering with tremendous power. He will nullify it and counter with tremendous power when HP is 70% or less. After performing 5 or more attacks in battle, extreme class category allies get Ki +2 and chance of crit 20% up. He also randomly changed tech or AGL key spheres to rainbow key spheres, which means he's just creating a ton of rainbow key spheres. Brutal Beatdown, Big Bad Bosses, GT, Fear and Fate, Shadow Dragon's Fierce Battle, Legendary Power are his link sets, and his categories are Battle of Fate, Full Power, GT Bosses, Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, Shadow Dragon Saga, and Worldwide Chaos. You can grab yourself some exclusive skill orbs from the Special Battles event, which is amazing for him. And in general, he is a very, very, very good unit. Very, very good. So obviously, where does that leave us? So he does not need to be on a GT Bosses team. He needs to be on an extreme team. That is not something that is difficult to do. He needs extreme allies to activate his animation. His animation is helpful, it's not necessary, but it's very easy to achieve. His leader skill allows you to run basically almost every crucial extreme unit. If you look between units like the Goku Rosés, you look between the units like Freezes, Perfect Cells, if you look at even Broly's, who won't run under the full 220% but will run under a equally good kind of skill and everything, it's really honestly amazing how good this guy is. Personally, for me, I think he's probably, at least for me, almost mandatory if you are an extreme team runner. If you run this guy, and you run, for example, Goku Rosé, I think you have an amazing extreme team. If you look at Strength Goku Rosé, he himself doesn't necessarily need a ton of things to work, right? He needs to have his whole team be extreme as well. So Goku Rosé, you look at his, you look at his passive, you look at how everything works there, you look at his active skill. Yes, there's not a ton of synergy between the active skills, or their buffs and everything, but there is still enough synergy there to run the two of them. You know, for example, he still gets the buffs from Omega Shenron, just not the damage reduction. You know, and he can still act as a great tank on the other rotation, you know, or a great unit. They share crucial links, you know, big bad bosses, very, very crucial. Legendary power, fierce battle. So they share the necessary links, they share the necessary, you know, kind of things, fear and faith, big bad bosses, fierce battle, legendary power. So it's already quite a noticeable and functional synergy between the extreme units from the celebration. And I think for a lot of players that synergy is absolutely 100% crucial. So for me, I think, you know, looking at him as a unit, I think he's amazing for the extreme team. The only caveat that I see with him, and this is at 55% or 100% or whatever, is he's very clearly designed for short tour events. Not like super short events. It's not like he can't do you know, long events and things like that, but it's more like he's not able to do super long events. You know, he's not able to do like festival battles and that. He's not designed for that. You know, so it's not like a crippling thing with him. It's not like he, you know, can't do it at all, but it is definitely something that exists. You know, it is a slight hindrance against him. Again, I don't think it's a deal breaker. I personally think he's an absolutely amazing unit, so I don't really think it's a huge, yeah, like detracting factor from him. And I think he's still excellent for pretty much every other event that's not really your festival of battles and things like that. So yeah.